champ of the mic on the night. With a mind so slick and a suit so clean, he's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes, he's the mastermind of your wildest dreams. Stand up, take note, bow down if you can. It's the Brilliant Show with the Brilliant One. He's the man.
Welcome into the Brilliant Show tonight. We got special guest Brym Stone coming up here in just a few minutes, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Y'all hang in there. We're about to put that up. Let's see here what we got. Here we go. Yeah, Brymstone will be joining us here in just a minute. Before he does, make sure you hit that like button and on this video. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, Audible, and many, many more. That way you can, if you don't get to see the show live and you don't want to watch it, you can listen to it on all podcast platforms. So go check it out. Like I said, it's on every podcast platform. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe on Apple Podcast and give us that 5-star rating and review. Apple Podcast helps out independent wrestling. Chris Chambers, what's up, man? Yeah, Brymstone will be joining us here in just a few minutes. But before he does, make sure you check out Brainbuster Tees and get you a Brilliant One t-shirt or the Brilliant Show t-shirt at Brainbuster Tees. The link is in the description here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch as well. Also, make sure you check it out. Like I said, we are streaming live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So check that out as well. And Brymstone will be joining us here in just a few minutes. We're got everything set up. And don't forget, tomorrow night, it's Russian Destruction. It's Vladimir Koloff coming. And then Tuesday night, the Fox and the Jackal, Kimber Fox and Asher Andrews will be joining us on Tuesday night. That is upcoming guest for the Brilliant Show. And like I said, we're going to be getting to Brymstone here in just a minute. We're going to be talking a lot of good stuff. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. You know, I made a post. I got 60 seconds of brilliance coming, I believe, Wednesday, that will drop Wednesday on the Facebook page. So make sure you follow me on Facebook or send me a friend request. Either one is Brandon Turner on Facebook, because we are going to, we're definitely going to be doing something with this Brilliance with 60 seconds, because I'm going to talk about some of the comments that were made when I made a post about Vince McMahon being the greatest promoter of all time, which is true. You can't deny it. I'll give my thoughts Wednesday on it. But here's my thing. When I post these things, I'm not posting them that, you know, these are my opinions or not. I'm just posting facts. You can't deny that Vince McMahon was the greatest promoter that has ever lived, whether his scandalous past or whatever is going on. I mean, you know, you still can't deny that he is the greatest promoter. And who watched Saturday night's main event Saturday night with Ron the Truth Killings? He definitely is. You're right. With Ron Killings. Or Ron Cena, I say. I love it. Ron Cena. That was just absolutely great doing the Ron Cena thing. So I thought that was entertaining on Saturday night's main event. Thought that Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre had its moments. Was doing good. And I thought it was a blast. So I'm just checking in on everything here, making sure we're good to go. But make sure you hit that like button. Damian Priest was good. Logan Paul versus Jey Uso was pretty decent as well. R-Truth is a national treasure. If you can't stand R-Truth, I don't know what's wrong with you, man. He's so entertaining, so great. He brings it all to the table. So, like I said, we're just waiting on Brymstone here, and then we will be getting to that interview. Anything else interesting happened this weekend for everybody? Did anybody have any shows this weekend? Like, I can't even remember if there was any shows this week. I know we got a couple this weekend. I will be at Lost Art of Wrestling Friday night in Florence, Mississippi. It's going to be one heck of a show. You're not going to want to miss that. Blast to the Future 3. They're going to have the ladder match. They're going to have like a 5-way tag team match to crown the number one contender for the tag team championships, who will face Lost Cause at the end of the night or somewhere in the night. And then Saturday is the birthday bash in Biloxi for Combat Sports Pro. I'll be there as well. Come out and check that show out. That's a cool little venue as well. So right now we're just waiting on it. That show last night was good. Are you talking about Saturday night's main event? It was pretty good. I didn't get to see all of it. I only got to see the last 3 matches. R-Truth, Cena, on from there. But I know they got Worlds Collide. I thought Worlds Collide was today, and I was like scrambling. I know they got NXT Battleground. Actually, it started now. It's going on right now. So, but I thought today was Worlds Collide with AAA and WWE. So I was like zoned in on that. And yeah, Combat Sports Pro did have a show last night. That is right, Teddy. That is right. They did have a show last night, and I heard it was good. You're right, Matt Clark. Good evening, Jacob. Good evening. How are you doing? Yeah, we're going to get Brymstone on here as soon as he can figure it out. He is not the most technologically prepared person. He said he's having a little difficulty getting on, but some people can't read and some people can't click. That's all it boils down to. And I guess Brymstone's one of those. We'll get to him here in just a few minutes. Though we're trying to work him through the process. But yeah, the Worlds Collide. I'm gonna watch that Saturday. No, I won't. I will be on my way to Biloxi Saturday, so I will not be able to watch. I guess I can watch it on Peacock later. And then Saturday night is what for WWE? What's Saturday night for WWE? No, that's not. Worlds Collide's not this weekend, is it? Worlds Collide is June the 7th. Yes, I will try to watch it June 7th. I'm sorry. Shoot, I'm getting all mixed up here. It was on fire. See you in Biloxi. Yes, see you in Biloxi, Teddy, man. I hope you enjoy it. Yes, that's right, Chris. You got it right. You caught me slipping. And also, MCW has a show June 7th as well, right, Chris? We'll have to get you back on here for your what tournament you got coming up, the AIWF Gulf Coast Championship Tournament. But that's right. Worlds Collide is June 7th, and then Money in the Bank's that night, too. They're doing it all in one day. That is wild. All right. Brym's in. He's got his cup of Joe. That too, yeah, Chris, yeah. Let's bring in Brymstone now. I know that's what y'all are really here for, not to hear me mumbo and jumbo about, Worlds Collide and all that. And like I said, but we're gonna get him in here right now. And don't forget tomorrow night, Vladimir Koloff. What's up, Brymstone, baby?
What's up, Brandon Turner?
Man, I had to say that some people can't read and some people can't click. I guess you was that one person that just couldn't click, right?
Well, look, man, all that matters is that the technologically challenged shooting star of professional wrestling, Mr. Gulf Coast himself, is here live in person. That's all that matters.
That is true, man.
Look, 100% fueled by a freshly brewed, piping hot cup of Joe, as always.
Oh, yes, Chambers, you're right. The TNA title will be on the line tonight, but is it really going to change hands? Do you think Trick Williams is going to win that championship tonight on WWE TV? I don't know. We'll see. It could happen. I am working the Biloxi show. Awesome, Teddy. We'll see you there for sure. I'm just getting through these comments, and then we're going to jump into it. Here it is. Chris Chambers, Brymstone, baby. There you go. Well, Brymstone, man, it's been a while since I've seen you, man. What you been doing?
I've been working in wrestling.
Hold on. Your audio's cutting out there.
Is my audio cutting out?
Yeah, hold on just a second. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know what's. Let's see here.
Am I still good?
All right, let's try it one more time. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, yeah, you're cutting. I don't know what it is with your cutting out. Is it?
Testing.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm gonna remove you down real quick, and then we'll try to reset it here real quick. This is one good-looking man right there. No, it's not, Caitlin. I mean, I know I am. Yes, that's why I took him off the screen. He was breaking it. Let's see. All right, I tried to mess with it a little bit, so let's see what happened.
Testing.
Yeah, it's still cutting out. I don't know what it is, man. I tried to edit everything I could. Maybe them high-priced headset. Look at him. See.
Might be your headphones.
All right.
Yeah, now, see, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect now.
Okay. Maybe it was that. I cut it off, cut it back on, and it showed me it was connected. So
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm.
Click allow. I have to allow it.
Yeah,
Obviously, I allow it.
yeah, you
now.
can't have them forced.
I'll allow.
But yeah, it's been over a year, almost. Well, it's not been over a year. It's been almost a year since I've seen you. What you been up to in the last year?
I would say it's actually probably been over a year since I saw you.
Yeah,
It's been over a year.
Yeah, it
Definitely.
has. It has.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Man, all I do is work and wrestle and go to the gym. That's it. Other than that, I have worked on a couple filming projects. I'm sure you've seen something about it. Um, I was working on a film called A Way Out, a Creighton Hobbs production. I did do that besides wrestling. That we did the premiere in January. It was supposed to come out on Amazon after that, and I want to say Amazon turned it down. I'm not sure what happened after that. You can hit up Creighton Hobbs; he can tell you if it's out yet or not. I'm not sure if it is.
We'll have to look it up and check it out. Yeah, I was at the last show I was at was the Mississippi, or was the showcase that we did in June of last year. That was my last show. And yeah, I hadn't, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, I was not at the showcase show.
No, you wasn't. No.
The show before that is whenever the last time I saw you. So May.
Yeah, I think it was
May. May in Ocean Springs. So
yep, May in Ocean Springs. So yeah, it's been
just over a year. Just over a year.
Time flies when you're selling fries, man. I mean, it does.
I'm telling you.
Hit that like button on the video
when you're shooting to the top, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the shooting star, that's right. The shooting star of professional wrestling of the Gulf Coast are both. Chris Chambers, what you got? What's more nerve-wracking, Brym? Making movies or wrestling?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. It's challenging making the film. Brandon, you've been on a couple sets, I believe, and even not having a big role, it's busy. There's a lot. Don't get me wrong. Putting together a wrestling show is very difficult. People probably don't realize how difficult that is. But in the same breath, it's all done in one night.
It's breaking up again on you, man. So I don't know what it is. It's got to be the headsets. I don't know. Is it staying?
You hear anything right now?
I can hear you good. Say something else.
Can you hear anything right now at the moment?
I can hear it, but it's cracking at the end.
Cracking. Okay.
Now it sounds fine.
Maybe it's when I lean. What about when I lean back? Can you hear everything clear now?
I can. It's just that last part is cracking.
What about when I'm close? Still cracking? Crack-a-lacking? Yeah. No.
Yeah, you're good right now.
Well, maybe I'm too far from the computer or something. Let me scoot it closer. About that. What is your piping hot coffee of choice at home and when you're out on the road? That's a good one. Truthfully, I brew Maxwell House at home, and when I'm on the road,
Maxwell House.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If he had a coffee, it would be garbage. Let's just say that. would be garbage. No, I like competing against Maxwell. I will say that. I like competing against
I
Maxwell.
love Maxwell.
He's always been a tough. He's always been a tough opponent for me. For a long time, I don't think people realize this, but uh, I'd never beat Maxwell. He had beat me in singles, tag, and rumbles, and everything. He'd always somehow find a way to beat me, and I never beat him until I guess it was match sometime either end of 23 or sometime last year. I finally actually beat him in a one-on-one. He answered an open challenge in Ocean Springs, and I finally actually beat him. That's crazy, isn't it?
That is wild now that I think about it. And I've been around for most of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Victoria says, "Hey, Brym," and I was wanting to jump into a little bit of that too. By the way, speaking of, you're right.
Well, to finish the coffee answer,
Yeah.
answer, I also like to get Black Rifle coffee at home. So I kind of go back and forth between Black Rifle and Maxwell House when I'm at home. On the road, um, as long as it's not Starbucks.
Well,
Oh,
hey, have you ever tried Seven Brew?
no.
Seven Brew, that stuff's good, but this is also good, and also it's a sponsor of the Brady Show. Check out StrongCoffeeCompany.com. Use the promo
How about
code
that? Hey,
TI
maybe
Wrestling and get 20% off at StrongCoffeeCompany.com. Yeah, now this is
I bet
protein
that
coffee.
that strong coffee. I bet that strong coffee would be great at a Brimstone customized Death Punch coffee mug.
Hey,
It
look
would
at
be
that! Look at that!
available at the merch table, or hit me up. Maybe I can mail it to you. By the way, I have a lot more than just coffee mugs. I also have huggers that work great with um, bottles, cans, of course. I even have, tumblers. Look at that shooting star professional wrestling. That's pretty wild right there, isn't it?
That
That's
is.
beautiful right there. You can put whatever kind of concoction you want in these.
Well, Chris Ricard said to
And they tend,
quit stealing from Maxwell House. From Maxwell's house. Hey, Lenore.
if I stole anything from Maxwell's house, he would be grateful for it. I promise you.
Chris Chambers says, what piece of advice you give young talent getting into the business and beginning to cut their teeth?
Well, I would say, um, first and foremost, be respectful. Number two, realize that this isn't, professional wrestling isn't always fun and games. It's a business. It is a business, and you should treat it as such. There is a lot to learn. It's not just learning how to wrestle, right? Oh, I want to be a wrestler. I want to learn how to wrestle. There's so much more you have to learn besides just what you do inside the ropes. And that's what I would suggest young talent is be prepared for that because although I was around a lot of very intelligent people and experienced people when I broke in, I wasn't really shown much of anything outside the ring. Right? I learned all that on my own through the years, and still am learning a lot about it. That's what I would tell them is, promoting yourself, helping promote the companies you work for, figuring out ways to really get your name out there, get the names of the companies out there that you work for is very important.
It really is.
Merchandising is very important, right? Merchandising is important.
It really is. And you talked about being on a TV set, and like you said, we've both been in that realm before. And I'm gonna just tell you this now, the sets that I've been on have been really they're really high pressured sets, and you have to be on key, because some of these people, I'm not gonna mention any names that I was on set with, but a couple of them I was on set with, man, they wanted to get it done right then and there. And sometimes these takes are so long. Like you could be doing a 2-minute take in a movie. Like that's the only part you got in a movie or a show. and it may take 6 hours to film a 2-minute segment sometimes.
It might, yeah, it might.
And that gets
to that point, that kind of, I think, answers the previous question. I think it was Chris had. I would say making a movie is probably a little tougher. It's probably a little tougher. And the reason I say it's tougher is because just what you pointed out, it takes so much longer to do. There's so much longer to do, and if you're doing it only on your, days off from your shoot job or days you're not wrestling, it's a couple days here, a couple days there. That's why it takes months and sometimes years to film movies, because even in Hollywood, those guys and gals are not working just one movie at a time. Sometimes they're doing multiple things. Sometimes they have obligations to do commercials that they have been contracted for, so they're doing that in between filming this movie. They're finishing one film after they start another, and that's why it can take so long sometimes. It's I've had easy 12-hour days filming movies, and also being a stunt coordinator at the same time I had a role. Those are they're way out. I was stunt coordinator and had a little bit more role in the film than previous times before. Having to flip that switch to go from, all right, stunt coordinate for these people, make sure they're safe. Flip that switch to now.
You cracking bad again. That last part where you said stunt coordinator and it just started cracking really bad.
Okay, well,
and Brymstone does need a pink T-shirt. He does. He does. I can't hear you at all now. Hold on. Let me get this set up. Hold on. It may be.
Can you?
Maybe on my. Yeah, I can. Hold on. Speak again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Perfect.
Is it loud enough?
Oh yeah, it's loud enough. It's good
Okay.
now. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
got
see
all
if
the cancellation and all that on the background noise. So you're
all right, I'm
good
gonna
on
see if
that.
I can turn the volume up where I can hear you better.
Yeah.
Um,
Because there won't be no echo. So don't worry about the echo on that.
I mean, I'm not worried about that. It's just I hear you better on the headphones, but I've
Yeah.
got this turned up pretty good now. I can hear you pretty good. All right, we'll just roll with it like this.
All right. So the stunt coordinator stuff, like, I mean, you're right. You're on set. Like, I'll tell you, I filmed something was about a year or so ago that I was there for 4 days. I had to stay in a hotel room. Didn't come home for 4 days. My filming schedule at that time was 4 a.m. till almost 3 a.m. Now I was not on set the whole time. We had we had a trailer to rest and all that, but
Yeah.
like literally it was waiting. It was a waiting game.
Yeah, I had a
You would
little
go
bit of
in,
that on.
film your stuff.
I had a little bit of that on a movie that's coming out this summer called Shattered Justice. I had just one of those 30-second rolls. It only took me 15 minutes to film. I'm there for probably close to 8 hours, just waiting, and it's outside where we're filming. So we're not in a trailer. We were given drinks and snacks, but we're off to the side of, everything's being filmed outdoors on that particular scene, all those scenes. So we're just sitting there in the heat, dressed in black.
Oh, and that's even worse right there.
So 8 hours, and it comes my time. I do my thing for 15 minutes and for a 30-second scene, but it's cool. Hey, I got paid. It was fun. I met a lot of cool people and was happy to do it. And hopefully it may lead to more work later. So that's good.
Oh yeah, it's always that's always great. My favorite Brimstone match, the triple threat with Camacho and Paps. I was not there for that one. How was that?
It was, that was technically my first time ever getting into the ring with Camacho. I thought it went really, really well. I thought I had the match won, and then I didn't.
Camacho's a different beast, man. He's a different beast.
Yeah.
He's one of the best big men in the business.
I really liked the one-on-one that I had with Camacho. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, I went into that match about 234 pounds, the heaviest I'd ever been, and he was about 415 that night, so hugely outweighed. But I had probably just a touch of height on him, maybe an inch and a half of height, and I think that helped in some way. When I got in there with him and realized, he's not, yes, he's huge, but he's not like a giant up here.
Yeah.
I think my confidence went way up. And I put him in the death lock. I didn't slam him, but I put him in the death lock. And to my knowledge, according to him, no one has ever been able to put that move on him because of how big he is. No one else has been able to put that, or a version of that move, a version of the Scorpion Death Lock or the Sharpshooter on Camacho. And I put the Brymstone Death Lock on him that night and held it on him for a considerable amount of time, trying to make him tap out.
Wow, that is unbelievable.
He's a
Tony
big guy.
Super.
Yeah.
He's got it. Where do you rank wrestling on an air base in a hangar with a F-22 static display set up next to the ring in your career? Where do you set? Where do you set that?
That's up there at the top. That is definitely up there at the top. That doing a military show has always been a goal of mine in professional wrestling. Ever since I saw the WWE doing the tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, like Christmas in Iraq and Afghanistan, those type of shows, that was something I always felt like I need to do that. That's a way that I can try to give back to the men and women that fight for our freedom. I've got so much respect for the military. I got, a lot of family members and friends that have been in the military. So I really, really enjoyed doing the Guardians Legacy show. It's actually the night that I won the Guardians Legacy Championship, the Legacy title. I won on that Air Force base over in Panama City, Florida. So very happy about that.
Man, that is all tribute to the troops, yes, and Chris
Yeah.
Chambers tribute to the troops. Yeah, we do a show. I've always done a show like every year that Joey Abel did one for like when it was Nash Crusade Pro, and he does them on Camp Shelby, and those are some fun shows to do. And tomorrow's Memorial Day. It's America's Freedom. It's going to be a fun one, and to do something like that is awesome. To do it on a military base for the guys that go there, fight for our freedom, risk their lives. It's just great to do that. And speaking of legacy, you're the champion. If I can find a picture, I'm going to pull it up here in just a second. But tell us a little bit about Legacy Champion, or is it a Gardens Legacy?
The Guardians Legacy.
Gardens Legacy. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the Guardians Legacy, great promotion. Have treated me extremely well. It was a place, I guess, truthfully, I was trying to get there for a while. At first, I was just trying to get kind of anywhere in the area. I wanted to branch a little bit farther over into Florida. And so I reached out to 3 or 4 companies over in that area, just beyond, and didn't hear anything back from any of them. So reached out a second time to all of them. And that second time reaching out, Skip got back to me, and it was just a simple message of, hey, sorry, this fell through the cracks. Here's the name of our booker. He handles, bringing in people. He kind of handles it. And then, that's where Skip kind of goes from there on things. So Skip's the owner. They're faith-based, religion-based, out of Panama City, Florida. They do things a little bit differently. I love it. I absolutely love it. It can be challenging for a heel sometimes because they don't want certain things to be said or done that are typically accepted in other places. But I like a challenge. And I feel like I've been able to do that very, very well. And I love it. I love going there. When the AWA went out of business, and
You mean sold? They didn't go out of business. They sold.
it's not AWA anymore. So to me, it's
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean, but yeah.
That's WCW got bought too, but it went out of business.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, when AWA went down, where I'm at, this, I considered AWA and AWF. That's like home for me. Right. Yep. And AWF obviously still around, but doesn't do as many shows, right? Shannon probably about 5 shows a year is kind of typical for him.
Yeah.
And sometimes, right now he's in a moment. I think he's going to probably take a break for a little while. But so I'm left looking
he's
for.
He's about to be a dad. Yeah.
Yes, he is. But congrats on that, by the way, Shannon. But I was left looking for, where's my home base, right? Where's home now? Like, where is my consistent wrestling going to take place for me that I can call this home, right? I'm left looking for that. So I think I could pretty positively say Guardian's Legacy has kind of become that home for me. I would say that's definitely the place that I've made my priority with my schedule. They've made it very easy for me to do that. And then outside of the Guardian's Legacy, well, let me finish up with them first. I would just say, if you're anywhere near the area, you should definitely check out a show.
Well, first off, before you finish that up, let's go ahead and show a couple of pictures here. There's you with the championship right there.
Yes, sir.
All right, here's another picture of you with the championship.
Looking jacked, baby. Look at that. Look at that tan.
Exactly. You got that Hogan 73 tan. But
73.
But continue on.
I just wanted to say that, the Guardian's Legacy is I think it's a great promotion. I think it's great promotion. I think they're doing really great for themselves. They do a lot of cool things for the fans. They do a lot of cool things for the talent. They really take care of the talent. I can't stress that enough. Extremely grateful for how they've treated me. If you just want to go on a trip to Panama City, hey, at the beach for the day, wrestling at night, I recommend it. I mean, who wouldn't love that, right? You should go.
Go check them out.
Go check them out.
And then
you'll
you
get
said,
me. Of course.
Well, that's
with
always
that being said, hey, with that being said, before we get off of the
no, I was going to say what was up next, because you was going to say after Guardians or Legends.
I'll get to that real quick. While we're talking about Guardians, I just want to say that I'll be wrestling at Guardians next Saturday on the 31st. It's the start of their summer series. They have 31st, and then it goes to June 21st, and then July the 5th and July the 19th. They've got 4 big shows through the summer there in Panama City, Florida. Check their website out. Check them out on Facebook, and obviously check out me on my socials, and you'll see those flyers that I've been sharing. And then to get back to what you were about to bring up, outside of Guardians Legacy, I've been working with Gulf State Wrestling in Louisiana, which is Mustang Mike's promotion. I think I saw him come on
Hey,
here earlier with
Mustang.
Boom.
Yeah, he was up in here just a minute ago.
Shout out to the Boom Nation. Been working over there and been working with SWA Promotions in Mississippi, and absolutely love those guys. Absolutely love what they do, and I'm very happy to for them to have pulled me into the fray and allow me to get some first time ever matchups with some really good talent over there. It's been fun.
Yeah, SWA, that's kind of where I got my start with Steve Starr and all that back in the day. And now Big Hoss and them are running it. And I've done some shows for them a couple of times. And I always enjoy being around them. And then you got Monty Warbucks over there, Calvin Rose, doing great things. Let's see what Tony Super. I hope that ain't really your last name. If it is, man, I don't know how you got screwed in life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you work the most recent Wrestling Against Cancer earlier this year? Any thoughts?
Yes, I did. That was a great show over there. I believe that was also, maybe it was Panama City. Maybe it was a little farther than Panama City. I can't remember the location or the name of the building. I remember the show. Obviously, it was a big show. A lot of people turned out. Wrestling Against Cancer. They had Diamond Dallas Page came in, and he had just moved to Panama City, so I'm pretty sure it was in Panama City or it was really close to it. He just moved there, and they asked if he would come and make an appearance or whatever, and he did. And he did autograph signings, and me being the mark that I am for the king of Bada Bing, had to get my picture with DDP. But
it was Panama City from what Tony
I thought so. I didn't want to say it wrong. But DDP came for free. And the money that you paid to meet him and get a picture and autograph and then picture on your phone or whatever, every bit of that money he donated. He came for free, didn't take a dime. Every bit of that money was raised for, I think his name was Ryan. That was my first time meeting him. He was there. Seemed like a really, really great guy. Everybody showed up there for him from multiple promotions. Now, these are promotions that they even said a lot of these guys might have heat with each other, but they said, we'll put that aside because we want to do this good thing. Went off without a hitch, not one single problem with people in the locker room or anything. It was really cool. It was really cool to see that happen. Big show. A lot of people. I can't remember the numbers, but you had an entire gym completely packed.
Man,
standing room only.
That's always awesome. Fatu here says, what do you think sets you apart from other wrestlers?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, that's a tough question because there's so many different wrestlers out there that bring so many different things to the table. They're so well-rounded nowadays. I would just say that I have the ability to not just work inside the ropes. I can work outside the ropes, anywhere around the ring, in the ring. I can use all parts of the ring. I can work just about any style of wrestler that you want me to work. I can get out there and I can wrestle them, and most of the time I'm going to beat them. I can talk. Not just behind a camera. I can talk behind a microphone, in front of a crowd. Just about every aspect of this business I have experience doing, and I bring that to the table. I'm not going to say I'm the best at anything because I feel like the best at this retired a long time ago, and there will never be another best. But there's a lot of great people, and I would say I'm pretty damn well-rounded, and not everybody is always well-rounded. I feel like it's easy to find somebody that's really good at one or two things. You get that a lot. but who's really good at everything and anything. Any match on the card, doesn't matter if I'm the opener or closer, semi, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, before intermission, after intermission, doesn't matter where you put me on the card. I can get my match over with my opponent. I think that's important. I think it's very important. Not everyone is well-rounded enough to do that. Let's just be honest. Not everybody's good enough to be your opener. You are a booker. You know exactly what I mean. Not everybody's good enough to be your opener. Not everybody's good enough to come on after intermission to get that crowd back up. Not everybody's going to kill it in the main event. So I think that's what sets me apart from other wrestlers.
Well, that's true. And all right, we're going to get to the next question here. We got the beautiful Caitlin coming up here in just a second with a question. But before we get to that question, I want to ask you something. Like, me and you've been around each other since I've gotten into the business around in this area. And me and you, you know, we've had some interactions in the ring, as a matter of fact. You know, we've done some stuff.
You regretted it.
Yeah, I did. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to shoot around the bush. But what year did you get started in the business, man?
2014.
2014. Okay.
Started training in late February of 2014.
So
my first match was April 26th of 2014 was actually my first match.
Wow. So we're looking at over 12 years now that you've 12 years that you've been wrestling and doing it. Caitlin says, what would you consider your best moment in wrestling, your wrestling career so far? Any one moment stand out the most?
Man, I've had a lot of good moments. Not gonna lie, I've had a lot of good moments. I will say this: the moment that I won the Guardians Legacy Championship on base, the military base in Panama City, Florida, it's the first time that my family was. Hey, this little guy right now. It was the first show that he really got to see me wrestle. My daughter was there. My wife was there. It's the first time the whole family's been together and actually seen me wrestle, ever.
Wow.
My parents have been to a lot of shows. Obviously, they're some of my biggest supporters, my parents. But
I met your dad. You know, I didn't even have to say, hey, are you Brymstone's dad? Because he let me know it. He let me know it.
Yeah. But also, I would say there's a few other matches up there that are up there with that moment. They're underneath it, though. That was important to me. That one meant a lot. Besides that one, I would say some of my favorite matches or best matches and moments. In general, just having my second run with the AWA championship was important to me. It was very important to me to have that second run as AWA heavyweight champion, because my first run started out great, then COVID hit, then came back into the fray, and it was going good, and then I hurt my neck.
Yep.
So I had to take a break. So I didn't really get to do what I felt I could have done in that first title run, what I should have done in that first title run. And it is what it is. But the second title run, albeit short, was really good. It was a really good run. Really proud of that run. During that run, I had one of my favorite matches, one of my best matches. I walked into Sims, Alabama at an AWF show as the AWA champion, challenged Vladimir Koloff
Which,
for his AWF championship at the time.
yeah.
He then proceeds to challenge me to put my title on the line. It was.
I was there that night.
Were you there? That's right.
Yes.
You were there.
I was managing, Murdo against Mac.
A lot of people don't know this, but during the existence of both of those companies, the AWA champion and AWF champion had, depending on who it was, not just saying me and Vlad, but just whoever it was, had wrestled each other many times on both shows, but not necessarily ever for titles being on the line, right? That was
Right.
the first time ever that the AWF champion and the AWA champion faced each other with both titles on the line. First ever time that happened. So for me, yeah, that was a big moment because those are like my two home promotions, If it wasn't for AWF, I would never have got started in wrestling. If it wasn't for the AWA, I never would have probably branched out and continued wrestling. Had a great match with Vladimir Koloff that night. Maybe our best match that we've ever had. It's up there. But that was a cool moment. That was probably number 2 as far as moments go. Beyond that, if I'm going to name some really good matches, maybe best matches, I got to throw in Chris Silvio up there, man. Chris Silvio, that dude can go.
He's the MCW champion, right?
Yeah, because he beat me. Because he beat me. We were the first main event. Blew the roof off that place. 30-minute main event match.
Well, the roof is not that tall now, so
Exactly. We blew it up enough that we could do superplexes off the top and not hit anything up there. So, but that match in itself, though, technically speaking, maybe the best match I've had. The only thing I would say that challenges that would be the match with at AWA Ocean Springs. I want to say October or November 2023 against Madman Fulton.
oh yeah, Madman, baby. That one, hey, that match to me, and let's just go ahead and throw it out there. I was kind of a part of that match.
You were. You made that match happen.
Yeah. So
I'll just say it. You made that match happen.
well, I wasn't the only one that made it happen. There was
You
also
weren't the
somebody
only
else.
one, but without you, it didn't happen. There were several people that made it happen. You know them. If you want to name them, give them some credit.
Well, I'll just say this. He's an enthusiast. And if it wasn't for the enthusiast and me, I'll just say this. Now, I'll go ahead and just kind of cut you off for just a second with the Madman Fulton. He came in, dude's 7 foot legit. And you two tore that house down that night. And I couldn't have been more pleased with that match. I thought that was one of the best matches. I mean, I was on my feet. I was marking out that night. Not even going to lie. I thought it was a damn good match.
It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I love competing in the ring, right? And this guy he's big. He's trying to downplay his size all night. Do you remember that?
Yes,
remember that? He
very
was trying
much
to
so.
tell us he weighed like 245 pounds, and I'm like, dude,
He even said he was like 6'3" or something. I was like, yeah.
He tried to say he was like 6'6", and I'm like, dude, no. Like I used to have a tag team partner that was 6'6", and he's huge. But he did do me a big favor, and I appreciate him for that. Well, for one, I feel like he did me a favor just coming in and agreeing to work with me. For one, is a favor because to his knowledge, he didn't know who I was. He didn't know me from Adam. And he came in 100% enthusiastic, ready to go, ready to work with me, show me whatever. And then he's like, all right, when it's go time, it's go time though, man. He's like, I'm not here to lose to just anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm here to win. And I respect that, right? That's cool. That's what we're here to do. We're here to compete. But the real favor that he did is he wore flats.
Yes.
He wore flat shooter shoes, shooter boots, so that he wasn't, even taller than what he could have been. And I actually wore some lifts that night in my boots to make me a little taller, so that there wasn't quite such a huge difference
there. Yeah.
But to be honest, despite the size difference, I've went back and watched that match several times. He didn't make me look like this little guy, even though he's big. Right. I didn't look like some little bitty dude next to him out there that he's working, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I think I more than held my own. I mean, heck, I won the match, but I definitely held my own with the guy that size. I was proud of that.
Well, you should have been. I mean, it was a great match, and it was one of those fun things. Like, he come in, and the guy was just awesome. Like, he was laid back the whole time. He didn't gripe and grumble about his accommodations or anything. Yep. When I asked him to come in, I'm like, dude, I can't remember, he was flying out of Miami, close to Miami, somewhere around there, Fort Lauderdale or whatever. But anyway, and I was just like, and I'm pulling a little bit back here. I said, man, you're going to have to go halfway across the world to get, to where we was at in Ocean Springs. And he's like, all right, no problem. No problem. Because that was just the cheapest flight I could get. He's like, oh, that's no problem. Picked him up. He's like, man, Whataburger. I hadn't seen Whataburger in a while. I was like, you want it? I don't want to be that guy. I said, man, come on, let's go to Whataburger. Took him to Whataburger, got him some Whataburger, took him to the hotel, man. Dude couldn't have been no nicer. Got him to the building. Y'all had a great match. He, taking care of some of these guys, man, like getting them in. Man, it was fun. And I can honestly say that dealing with like Alexander Hammerstone, dealing with Richard Holiday, dealing with Madman Fulton in those capacities those were the great guys. Those guys were the most professional guys I've ever dealt with.
Very professional. All three of those guys agreed. Very professional, very giving of any knowledge. If you had any questions, they weren't bothered by anybody wanting to talk to them or ask questions or take pictures. They weren't bothered by anything. They seemed to enjoy themselves. I know for a fact, Hammerstone and Fulton both said that they really, really loved the locker room and said they would, I'd come back here anytime. I'd work with this company anytime. Yeah. So, if anybody's watching, you're one of the boys and you were in that locker room, that's a shout out to you about you guys' behavior and professionalism. And, these are guys that have been around the world that saw that locker room at that current time in AWA and said, yeah, this is one of the better locker rooms that they've been in. And these are people that have been, all across television, all around the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing about it is like Hammerstone, and we're going to get to some more questions here in just a second. I got several saved, but with Hammerstone, Holiday, Fulton, they all said they would work for me anytime, any day of the week. Hammerstone and Holiday stayed at the Airbnb I had. And Hammerstone was just telling me, and I know I'm pulling a little bit back here, but he was just telling me like, man, he's like, your guys are just great. He says, you got a great group of guys. And I always thought we had a great locker room in that period that I was there.
Yeah.
That I was owner. And I just thought, we didn't have no drama. We didn't have nothing going on. The locker room was absolutely superb, in my opinion. Andrew Hansen, that wrestling enthusiast, Brymstone. He's great. He loves to call you your brother.
Absolutely, man. Andrew is man. You don't make many true friends in the wrestling business. You know what I'm saying? You make a lot of acquaintances that you see from time to time that you like being around, but there's few. Most people would probably say they can count on one hand, a brother that they know they can text or call at any time and have that conversation or ask that advice or do something for him. He's one of those guys.
Oh, he's definitely one of those guys. And not only that, he may not give you like the advice you want to hear sometimes.
He's honest.
He's honest, and he's going to be straightforward with you. And he's a great guy. We'll leave it at that. Matt Clark, Brymstone, if you had to choose your next opponent, who would you choose?
Get to choose. I mean, is this, from like companies I'm currently working or just?
Oh, no, just anything.
Any wrestler in the world.
Any wrestler in the world you want your next opponent.
And
I got one from Timothy Davis coming up that's pretty good too.
I've always said in the past that I would have loved an opportunity to work with Ken Shamrock. I've also said in the past that I would have loved an opportunity to work with AJ Styles. But for this particular question, man, I think it would be really cool if I were to have an opportunity to do something with LA Knight.
Oh, LA, man, that would be.
You picture the promos and the match between, Brymstone and LA Knight. I think you got something pretty good on your hands right there.
Yeah. I think that would be really good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know it. I know it would be.
All right, so Timothy Davis has got something to say. Let's see what he has to say. If Brymstone could have one match with any current WWE, well, you kind of answered that, but let's go ahead and do this. Outside LA Knight, who would be your next current WWE star you'd want to?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. That
Randy
was
Orton.
quick on the comeback. All right.
Yeah, Randy Orton's one of my favorites. Either him or CM Punk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those two would be good. We got another one. Do you find that your character aligns with your personal views, or do you feel like you're playing a role that's distant from your real self?
I'll just say this. In wrestling, you're either, well, I'll just say this. I feel like you'll find your most success either being yourself, but with the volume turned up 110%, or being the total opposite of who you are.
Oh yeah, that's a good deal. Leo Riot says Brymstone versus Leo Riot. Now we know Paul Riot, we know Sammy Riot. Do you know who Leo Riot is? Because I do. Leo is the best Riot.
I pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I met Leo once at an SWA show. If I'm not mistaken, pretty sure I did. I had one match with Paul Riot years ago, and I would say that in the first 5 years of my career, my two best singles matches were up to that point were probably a singles match I had with Chad Cheatham and the match that I had with Paul Riot.
Paul's a professional, man.
Paul
great.
Was so easy to work with.
Yeah.
We had a great back and forth match, and he was tuning my head up, man, and he had me reeling. Not gonna lie, he had me reeling. He turned on the speed, and man, he was bumping me, boom, 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 and I had to get up, man. I took a big breath, and he went for something off of the top rope, and man, I just jumped up and bam, I blasted him with at the time what was then known as the super fist, which obviously is now known as the death punch, and caught him just right. That was Paul, and boom, he landed like a sack of potatoes, and I got the win. But that is our only match. That is our only match. And like I said, he was there for a minute, man. He was schooling me. Not gonna lie, there for a minute he was schooling me. But this thing right here, man, is deadly. But so Leo, if you want a piece of the shooting star, it's fine by me.
Oh, that'd be awesome. We're gonna get to a couple more questions here in just a second. We got that, but I got to get this out of the way first. We got to go ahead. You got to go to Brainbuster Tees. Get you a Brilliant Show shirt or hat, either one. Check it out. It's at Brainbuster Tees. The link is in the description. Also, don't forget, tomorrow night we got Vladimir Koloff, and Tuesday night we got the Fox and the Jackal. You're going to check that out as well. But Brymstone, before we get to a couple more questions, they're coming in like no tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get to it. But I'm going to just say this about Leo Wright. I've seen him, and the dude is he's got it. He's the best Riot. We know the Riot's got that, they got the Riot family legacy. But I think Leo is the one. Yes, had the honor to meet at SWA not too long ago with his talent. We'll blow the roof off the place. You're right, Leo. Exactly. All right, let's get to a couple of questions here. First, Chris Chambers has got, Brym, who is your indie Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
Man, it's tough because, I mean, you think about how many indie wrestlers have actually moved on and moved up the ladder to the bigger televised promotions as well.
Well, I'll slim it down for you just a little bit. How about we look at the South? We look at Florida, Georgia, all the way to Texas.
Gosh, man. The Gulf Coast from Florida all the way to Texas, man, is loaded with talented wrestlers. Loaded. There are a lot. I'll say man, it's tough. Man, that's a tough one. I'll
tell you what, we'll come back.
No. Let me put it this way. Some are still current, but I would say before I became a wrestler and when I was just breaking into training, right? Some of the guys that I like to watch that I thought were the best, this is what I thought was the best, was probably, I'm going to say Chad Cheatham, which he's retired now.
Yeah, he's great, though.
Chad Cheatham, he could have been at the top, I really think, if things had played out right. I was a big fan of Tony Sweat, God rest his soul. Both of these guys come in and trained me early on in my career. Tony Sweat, absolutely love that guy. Mustang Mike, big fan of Mustang Mike early on in my career, and just prior to getting into wrestling, I knew who Mustang Mike was and got to see his stuff, and just I love the style that he works. That old school grappling that he likes to do is something that I prefer. And Steve Anthony. Those are four from before I was a wrestler and starting in the business. Those four right there. As far as current wrestlers on the indies, man, I freaking hate his guts. but Vladimir Koloff.
That's my client.
And I'm going to say Nobi Bryant. Have you heard of Nobi Bryant?
Texas.
Over in Texas? Yeah. Nobi Bryant. Probably Toby Farley. Toby Farley would be current.
Yeah,
I'd
Toby's.
say.
Shannon, by the way, you are going to have to go back and rewatch. Go to about the first 5 minutes of the show where Brymstone was talking shit about you.
Man, number 4. Gosh, there's so many.
So we got so far we got Vladimir Koloff, Nobi Bryant, Toby Farley. There can only be one left.
Well, truthfully, I would have said Mike Gunner, who also wrestles in Texas, but he just retired. So I can't say Mike Gunner because he's retired now. Man, I wish that I got to work with that guy. Freaking great. He's great.
You never retire. You never know what's going to happen.
I think he's pretty much done. If he isn't, like, he's not going to just he's not going to wrestle anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Man, it's hard to name that 4th because there are so many good talent.
There's so many people that could, definitely could be in there.
I'm not going to be arrogant enough to say myself.
I was going to see if you was going to be. I was like, come on, Brym.
I'm arrogant, but I'm not that arrogant. I'm pretty damn good.
I would have put myself at the 4th place. As a matter of fact, I will put myself in the 4th place.
If there was 5 on a Mount Rushmore, I'd be 5. But as far as 4, man, I don't know. It's
well, I'll say this. Brym. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we come back to the 4th one in a little bit? Why don't we let the fans decide who they think would be the 4th one out of those 3 added to it? Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. So Miss Caitlin has to say which wrestlers have inspired you the most in wrestling?
Inspired me. From the indies, I would say Chad Cheatham. Chad Cheatham was always my favorite.
All right, just put the link to the matchup. Paul, if you'll do that, if you'll send me that link in my DMs, Paul, we will I'll make sure we put it out there. We'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really good, man. Paul's true professional.
Oh, he is. He's great. I love Paul. Here's the thing. He's talking about faith-based promotions like Guardians Legacy. Paul is one of those, and, man, he puts on some of the best shows in the state of Mississippi. Love it. We're on 13 likes. Get me one more like on this video. But
we need
Paul's
some likes,
great.
people.
Yeah, Paul's great, and we're going to talk about Lost Art of Wrestling tomorrow night when I have my client Vladimir Koloff on. He's going to be in the 5-way match, so 5-way ladder match, and we're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow night as well. But anyway, get back to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So let's get back here. We got some more likes. We got over 13. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, I want the fans to pick. All right, so Matt Clark says Lucha or Ray. All right, the Patriot. What? Shannon, are you drinking again?
He said the Patriot.
But anyway, I see Chamber says Vladimir Koff, Toby Farley, KJ, formerly known as Fuego del Sol, and Ray Fury.
The only reason why I wouldn't, put KJ Orso in that is because he's actually been signed by a major company.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not. He was signed by AEW at one point.
And then he worked Ring of Honor, and he works GCW all the time, which I get it. They're still kind of like indie, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're way more popular than any indie wrestling company. I consider KJ like he's already at that next level. You know, he's already at that next level. If I was going to pick guys like that, that have worked with the bigger companies and stuff, I probably would have put Chris Silvio on that list. But he still gets work.
Ryan Gale says Wes Warren.
Wes Warren is a great wrestler. I'd love to beat him up. We've yet to ever have a one-on-one, but that would be fun. Someone mentioned Ray Fury.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Ray Fury is great, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I could beat Ray Fury probably in about no more than about 15 minutes. So.
Whoa. Calm down now. You said you could beat Ray Fury in less than 15 minutes. Now you done started something now. We got to get into this.
He knows it. How many times has he been in a locker room with me? He avoids me. He avoids me everywhere I go.
He avoids you?
You know how many times promoters have tried to book him versus me and he's turned it down?
Are you saying Ray Fury?
He's agreed for the booking, then finds out he's got to work me, and he's like, "Oh no! I want an easy night. I gotta travel somewhere the next day." Okay.
Oh man, we've got.
Yeah, Ray, I'm calling you out. Ray.
Yes.
Ray Fury versus Brymstone should have happened a long time ago, but he knows that he'd have to tap out to the deathlock. Period.
Let me write this down because I'm gonna have to write down the timeline on this because we're definitely gonna post this. But all right, hold on, just say we got Ryan said Wes, Chambers. All right, Fuego was not KG. All right, we're talking about the actual person. We're not doing fandom stuff here. All right, Matt Clark, Zane Stevens is who he puts on there. I'm gonna say this with Jarrett McKenzie. We'll get to Zane in just a second, but Jarrett McKenzie says Simon Phillips. Simon Phillips should have already been on TV. Simon Phillips has got a great look. He's great in the ring. He can do it all. We'll go with that. Yeah.
Would you say that about me then, Brandon? Because I see you say that about a lot of people. You don't say that about me.
I don't do it.
You don't?
All right, we need to book Brymstone needs to be on TV. He's got a good look. Look at him.
I can go in the ring.
Yeah.
Who can I not go in the ring with?
Ray Fury, apparently, because he runs.
Because he knows I can go in the ring with him. He ain't gonna get to do all that flippy dippy stuff with me.
But
when his leg don't work.
His leg don't work. I'll say this, Brymstone.
I'll take his leg home with me.
Oh, hold on. Matt Clark, Chambers, book it. Yeah. Chambers, why don't you book some stuff? Brymstone could go in the ring and go on the mic, as you can see. So why not put him on TV as well? And plus, look. He's got some Caitlyn girl on here calling him good looking.
That's right. They all know it. They all know I'm good looking. Technically, I am on some TV. I am on CW.
Yeah, OnlyFans don't really count now.
Guardians Legacy puts me on CW Network. They film for the CW Network. So technically, yeah, I am doing a little bit of TV, but not, like national TV. We're talking national TV.
Exactly. And hold on. Miss you too, Vladimir Co-op Lady. We got to get to some of these comments we're missing. Hold on. The pot is being stirred. There ain't no pot being stirred. Who is Caitlyn? And why is the pot being stirred? Look. There's no pot.
She's one of my biggest fans. She's probably my biggest fan.
You know what? I remember a Caitlyn that was rooting for the Brilliant one back in the day. That may have been her. Let's see.
I just saw something pop up. Who was that? What did it say? Gay Fury?
Yeah, it's a
Gay
cow.
Fury is a cow.
That's coming from somebody that we all know. I know I was kidding. Simon Phillips is great. There's a lot. That's the problem. And I think you'll agree with this, Brymstone. We've got so much untapped talent here on the coast. And that gets overlooked. Yourself.
You want to know why they get overlooked? Or you want to know why the Gulf Coast as a whole gets overlooked by national companies? Because there's so many people in the wrestling business on
the
Gulf Coast scene that get on social media. And what do they do when they get on social media instead of trying to promote, and treat it like a business? They get all their personal feelings hurt and balled up, and they want to bash people on the Gulf Coast. Oh, this wrestler sucks. This company sucks. They're no good. They're no good. This person's hurting the business, blah, blah, blah. All of that negativity that comes out of people on the Gulf Coast hurts the entire Gulf Coast. Bigger companies see that and they're like, nope, we don't want to touch nobody down there. That's why that talent gets overlooked. So if you're one of those that likes to get on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or your Snapchat stories or whatever your social media is on X and bash people on the Gulf Coast, well, you're a big part of why the bigger companies don't want to bring people in. 100%. Drama.
Yep. We got
Drama.
a couple more things to get to. Yeah,
Do you
drama.
disagree? You seem like
No,
you're trying to
do not. The drama is the part that kills a lot of these guys. It really is.
The drama that should be promoted is the drama that's going into the shows themselves.
Right.
And there are people out there that they want to create real life drama. Like there's real problems. And sometimes there are real problems. And sometimes there's not.
But you got to handle it like a business.
Act like there is.
Yeah. You got to handle it like a business, like you said. You got to be
like a
professional.
business and it will succeed. And there's
Exactly.
people that just treat it like it's their feelings. Oh my God, they didn't book me, so their company's horrible. That kind of stuff.
It's called they're entitled.
Maybe. I just know it's you get a lot of people that go on social media. Oh, these people suck, and they say that truthfully. They're not saying it's because they didn't get booked, but that's the real reason why they're saying things like that, because they wouldn't get booked. They wouldn't.
Well,
book
I make people cry, and stuff like that. So, and I hate making people
fun,
cry.
Ain't it?
It is. Oh, Miss Savage, the great Miss Savage, ain't doing that flippity dippity stuff with me.
There you go.
I'm putting that on a t-shirt. All right, we got another question. Creighton Hobbs stepping in. Brym. And as a matter of fact, we talked about Creighton Hobbs and his films just a short minute ago. But you've worked with Creighton Films. Way to put yourself over, Creighton. Both as an actor and stunt coordinator, and you've got the background in professional wrestling. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from wrestling that you've been able to use on a movie set?
I think it would just be, I think there's two things. So being a stunt coordinator, obviously wrestling has helped because I know how to fall and not get injured, right? Whether it be in the ring or somewhere else, I have the ability to do things like that, and then also show other people how they can manage that and not hurt themselves. She said, "Hi, Carl." Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
You know where that's from?
What's that?
Someone tried to make a fake profile of me,
and they said, "Hi, Carl."
It was Brymstone Carl was the name.
Oh my God.
Brymstone Carl.
So we're gonna have to put that one back up. Hi, Carl.
Yeah, hi, Carl. But anyway, the second thing would be that ability, which is tough. I'm not saying it's easy, but sometimes with wrestling, as you know, you gotta turn it on. Oh, yeah. We're up. Oh, I didn't realize it was my segment. Boom. Go through the curtain.
Flip that switch.
Be who you need to be. You know what I mean? Oh, it's time to be who I need to be in a split second. Oh, fans walked up when I didn't realize they were in a split second. Now you're who you need to be. And being on a set with Creighton where I spoke of this earlier. I've got a role in the film, but I'm also a stunt coordinator. It's like I just spent 2 hours, 3 hours being stunt coordinator. And it's like, okay, get changed. Now you've got to do your scene. And it's like, oh, that's right. All right. So now it's just, let's get this ready.
Hold on 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and say this. Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty, has passed away.
Oh man.
Just came across, figured I would go ahead and just put it out there. But yeah, Phil passed away. You know, he'd been having medical issues anyway. I think he had cancer and I think he got the best of him. But
that is sad news.
Yes, I played poker with Phil several times. So yeah,
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah,
that's sad. He seemed like a really cool guy.
Oh, he was. They were all of them. I got to meet all of them. Got to play poker with a lot of them, and they were all down to earth, nice guys, and you know, yeah. I'm sorry to bring that in.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Prayers go out to the family on that, man. That's sad news.
You know, he was the quarterback behind Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw, yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, I did know that. Yeah. I did know that. Yep. A lot of people actually said that he was better than Terry, but he didn't want to be football to be his career. He didn't
right.
want,
no.
He was like, nah, I don't. So he was like, you know, would rather be behind Terry and just kind of help him progress to be better than what he was. And obviously he did, because Terry went on to win 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I was going to say, Terry's a legend. He's still going on TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
interesting there. Hey, you know, do you still play poker?
Yeah, I do. A little bit here and there, and I don't play on a regular basis. I more play for fun now.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to bring me along on one of those trips that you do, and I'll sit there and have a brew while you play.
Hey, you can go have a brew with me. I'll be in Vegas. As a matter of fact, because I play the World Series of Poker main event just about every year, so I will be out there towards the 1st of July and the end of June. But yeah, I go out there every year and try to play the World Series of Poker, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's relaxing now because I'm not as stressed as I was. So it's just, you go out there and you just have fun with it. But yeah, that was a bad note, but I will move on. So we'll get back to some wrestling stuff. But yeah, man, that one just popped off out of nowhere with Phil. So I was like, oh, wait a minute, what we got going on? Oh, well, Sing Pet says the opening match on NXT is great so far. That was 1 hour ago, so I'm guessing that first match is over with by now. But yeah, man, let's dive into something.
Let me say something about Sing Pet, man. You know, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, but that dude is really creative. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
very creative. Not everybody gets it.
Moondog. Moondog says hello.
Moondog, man, dude. Let me tell you a story about Moondog. Justin Stone, the first championship that I ever won, it was from Justin Stone. It was the AWF Heavyweight Championship. The first championship that I ever won was that the first singles championship, I should say. First singles championship. And look, man, he looked at me straight up. He said, if you want this, you're going to earn it. That's what he told me. He didn't say nothing else. He said, if you want this, you're going to earn it. right? And it was a come as you are street fight.
He made you earn it all the way.
And yeah, he did. He made me earn it all the way. A lot of people didn't even know if he was going to show, because him and the company at the time, him and Dwayne were button heads, you know. And I'll just leave it at that, you know. And I'll just say, you know, because I'm not here, you know, I don't want Moondog get talking trash, you know. Dwayne's not here. But, you know, they had their differences, and we were scheduled in a come as you are street fight. He showed up. He showed up like last minute, came through the crowd while I'm cutting a promo about him not being there. He come into the ring straight up, come as you are street fight. And there wasn't a whole lot of wrestling moves, if you know what I mean. It was
just a brawl and a fight to the end.
It was snug. It was back and forth. I did pull out a victory. I did beat him with the big punch, but he made me earn it. He told me, if you want this, you're going to have to earn it, kid. And he made me earn it all the way. I fought him that night. I fought him. And that dude, you know, he's tough. He's tough as nails. He's still tough as nails. I had a match against him last year at APW, and he ate some waffle taters.
Waffles and taters, yeah.
Yeah,
taters
we had some marks on us at the end of that night. We were marked up, man. We were, you know, we were laying it in, dude. Closest thing I've had to a fight in the ring. Not gonna lie, it was physical. He made me earn it, and afterwards, you know, he came to me after the show was over, and he shook my hand, and he said, "You earned my respect," and that meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me, because I remember there was a time when I was probably 17 years old, sneaking into Club Casino, watching AWF wrestling, and he was one of the guys I was watching wrestle. You know what I'm saying? So for him to test me like that and then shake my hand and tell me that I earned his respect meant a lot to me.
Well, I'll say this. I've been in the ring with Moondog too. Or actually, my client was in the ring with him. Moondog brought me into the ring and, you know, tried to lay me out, but luckily it didn't happen. Let's get to this question. You have a fan from another country, sir. So,
yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have fans from several countries, believe it or not, which is surprising. It is super surprising. It's also humbling. It's very humbling that someone would follow me on my social medias from other countries and just be a fan. And the name went away. That person, I recognize the name, is very respectful.
Yes.
Vivek, yeah, very respectful all the time. And watching my stuff and, you know, liking my stuff and occasional comments. You know, without the fans, wrestling doesn't happen. Anybody can say what they want, but if there are no fans, there is no wrestling. It's a spectator sport. It's a spectator sport. What do you do if there's no spectators? You know, you don't do anything. You don't make any money, that's for sure. You don't entertain anybody if they're not there to see it. So
that's true. Becca Chambers says, "Hi, Kurt Russell," or "Hello, Kurt Russell." That's a good one.
So what that comes from, let me tell you what that comes from. So, you know, when I cut my promos, you'll hear this voice, the shooting star of professional wrestling, right? Obviously, you hear that live, you know, I deepen the voice, but She told me one night that I sounded like Kurt Russell from a movie. And it's a movie where he drives this car. What's he say? Watching you from India.
They do not have a pro wrestling culture down there. You finish your sentence. We'll get to this.
Hey, no,
in
I want to give him credit, man. Without people like that, I don't exist. So,
being in India, they crave professional wrestling. They want to see professional wrestling.
I would love.
They don't get the chance to.
I would love to go to India one day and wrestle. That would be so cool. But get back to what I was saying. Becca Chambers, she said I sounded like Kurt Russell on this movie. If she can chime in and remind me the name of the movie, it escapes me right now. But he's in this car, and he's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. Which, I mean, let's be honest. If you see the shooting star of professional wrestling, some people would say I'm not a good guy, but I think that's hogwash. I'm a great guy. You know, I'm Mr. Fair and Square, right? Fair and square. India is a beautiful country. I would love to go there too. Well.
Listen,
Miss Kate,
get him to take you there.
Miss Caitlin, you're going to go to Europe in a couple years, so you can wait on India. So,
well, let me ask you this though. Let me get to another. I think there was another question here we're going to have to get to. Matt Clark said, "What's your thoughts on Sean Legacy? I know you shared a locker room with him."
He seemed like a really, really cool guy. Really cool. I've not been in the ring with him, but he was great to be around in the locker room. Just one of the guys, obviously he's very successful, but he's just one of the guys, man, just one of the boys in the locker room. And sorry, I haven't adjusted this. Bugs are flying around me. Really cool and extremely talented. He was very humble. He tried to play it off like, he's got one move. Oh, I do the was he do the 450 or the shooting star that he does?
I think it's the 450.
450 that he does, pretty sure. He tried to play it off like that, well, I got one move, I'm like, nah, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, but he is. I mean, he's got a lot of talent coming up. All right, another one. Tell a time when you had to overcome a significant challenge or setback in your career.
Well, let's see. That's a great question.
Death Proof was the movie.
Death Proof. Yes, Death Proof. Significant challenge. I'm going to say two things. First off, I hurt my back when I was 16 years old. I never realized the extent of what that injury was. I heard it again around the same time that I hurt my neck. And I think it was 2021, I think. I hurt my neck. So making it through the neck injury was tough. It was nothing broke, but it got like compressed really bad. So every disc in my neck was swollen and inflamed. And it happened. Two things happened. So to start with, I'd hit my head on a pipe at work and it snatched my neck back. That wasn't that bad. Just kind of nagging, hurt,
Nagging
but
injuries.
yeah, just nagging, no big deal, right? And then I had a match.
Nick Wonder says, "Hey to everybody, Nick, how you doing tonight?"
What's up, Nick Wonder? Nick Wonder is a great guy. He gave me a high five one time.
I love Nick Wonder. I don't know what the whole cause with him and Hunter is like. Hunter's out of control.
Look, man,
I
had a match with Hunter, and I'll say this: it was a challenging matchup, but I beat him fair and square. Nick Wonder had nothing to do with it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, he cheated." Nick Wonder, all he did was come out there, and he gave me a high five. That's all it was. But
what caused Hunter Rose to lose the match was called failing Jenny Craig. That's what it had to be.
What caused him to lose the match was that the death punch landed square.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he wasn't in shape. After he failed Jenny Craig, he gets in the ring, he's not conditioned, and then you put the death punch on him and it's over.
Well, look, no, I'll give him credit to be a big guy. Yeah, he can move, and he's strong. But, I mean, he's not Brymstone. He's not a match.
What's your favorite move and favorite submission hold, sir?
Well, my favorite submission hold is the Brymstone Deathlock, which is my version of Sting's Scorpion Deathlock. And there are a lot of losers out there that call it the sharpshooter, but we all know the truth. That's my favorite submission hold. Favorite move? Man, favorite move in wrestling altogether, besides that submission hold, I would say, man, probably the Tombstone Pile Driver. I was a big fan of the Tombstone Pile Driver.
Yeah, the Tombstone. Now, what version of the Tombstone would you do? Like, would it be the sit down like Stone Cold got hurt, or the Undertaker style?
No, to the knees.
To the knees.
Undertaker style, 100%. 100%. He might have failed Jenny Craig, but he failed Hair Club.
Go back to AA. Ain't nobody trying to get you up in here. Go to Alcoholics Anonymous. But anyway, all right, Brym. Got a couple more questions. If you want to ask some more questions, come on with it. I got one I want to ask. Look at that. What kind of cigar is that, first off?
This is a what do we got here? It's from Nicaragua. Upman.
I got a Cass Garcia. I'm not going to.
It's an Upman.
I'm not going to smoke it tonight, but I got a Cass, Garcia. So those are good. Those are always good. Do y'all have a, what is it called? Is it Front Street Cigars? Do y'all have one down there?
I don't think so.
They're really
we got liquor stores that sell cigars.
Well, if you come to Mississippi, I think it's First Street Cigars, Front Street Cigars. One, go by them because you can get you a good brew and get you a good cigar and chill for a little bit. They're always great. Let's see what we got.
I don't know if you can see this on camera, but about 5 minutes ago, I started getting swarmed by bugs.
Well, I mean,
yeah, like
it's rough down this way.
Yeah.
Do you know who Suge White is?
I recently heard of Suge White when he started wrestling for Gulf Coast Wrestling. Prior to that, honestly, I had not heard of him. But
you've not heard the legend that is Suge White.
Well, let me just put it this way: anyone on indie wrestling that calls himself a legend is a legend.
He didn't call himself a legend. I called him a legend.
You called him a legend. Well, maybe a legend in your mind. I don't know the guy. I don't know him. I don't mean to sound disrespectful. He seems to be getting a lot of praise. I will say that a lot of people.
I'll just say this: I'd love to see you two go at it. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Chris Ricard's still in here. My offer still stands. You know, you bring Suge White in for that match, I'll take care of it. That's on my dime. I want to see Suge White get some business going down. That's what I want to see.
Against me?
Oh, hey, love to see it. I think you and Suge would have a good match. I think you and Suge would tear the house down. I'll go ahead and say that right on.
Probably so. I have noticed that he seems to be one that loves to talk smack, and I love to talk smack. So I think that alone would be entertaining. When it comes to in ring, I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff. I've seen little clips here and there from GCW, and like I said,
we'll get with you, Suge, on that.
He's getting a lot of praise. You don't get a lot of praise if you're not doing something right.
Suge, man. I mean, legit great guy. Alex Baker says Brymstone needs to do a death match, like a legit, brutal, bloody ZZW style death match. Would you do that, or is that just out of the realm for you? Because in my opinion, before you answer that, yeah, the money part's going to come up, but I'm talking about I just don't. Nothing against deathmatch wrestling, but that's just. I just don't. I'm not. It's not my style.
It's not my thing, but I'm not opposed to doing anything in wrestling if the money's right. Let's put it that way.
Right.
If the fans wanted to see me in a death match with somebody, as long as the money was right, I'll do it. Because two things. For one, yes, I am a professional wrestler. Yes, I wrestle almost every weekend, and I do make decent money doing it compared to what a lot of people make in wrestling on indies. I do well considering, but it isn't enough to pay the bills, right? I still work a job during the week. That's what pays the bills. So if I'm doing something that is going to jeopardize that job, which pays the bills for me and my family, well, then it better pay. You understand?
Right.
Yeah, it better pay. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem doing it, but it better pay. It better pay. And number two, when you're doing movies, having this intact is very important.
Well, that's the moneymaker, baby. That's the
moneymaker's got to be safe. So,
yes.
And I get it. Some people, they don't care about that, and that's fine. If you don't care about that and you love to do death matches,
if that's what you want to do, go do it.
There are a niche group of fans that absolutely love it. I know when I was a kid, there was a period of time that I really did enjoy hardcore matches.
Yep.
But in the same breath, I wasn't watching it to see that every match and every show, even then.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoyed watching Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart more than anything. So, You know what I'm saying? And they rarely, if at all, involved, match stipulations outside of a regular wrestling match. If you look back, I mean, it was very rare that stuff happened between them.
It really was. All right, we're about to start to wrap up here because we got to get some stuff going, but it is an unnecessary style of match. I'll agree with that. But before we get out of here, I'm gonna knock this off real quick. We're gonna name 3 people. You give me your thoughts on them, we'll move on. All right, we're gonna start out easy with you, and we're gonna go with Shannon Henderson.
Shannon Henderson, I've known since he was like 15 years old, 14 years old, somewhere in there.
That was last week. Okay.
And he was a good kid, truthfully. He's actually a good guy. He's always treated me right. His family's always treated me right. And I got nothing bad to say about him.
Good
Yep.
deal, because I like Shannon too, and had Shannon on just a couple of weeks ago. We had a banger of a show, and
Yeah, it was good. I saw
Yeah.
it. It was good.
that was really good. Next up, this is not necessarily a person, so I want to ask you, what is your favorite cigar?
I don't really have a favorite. I'm not huge into them. I don't smoke them often. You know, I just felt like, hey, I know you smoke cigars. I'm out here on my deck. If I smoke a cigar, this is where I'm going to do it. And I thought, hey, what better time than now? I don't really have a favorite.
Right. All right, Tony Super. That was his name from earlier, Tony Super. What's your thoughts on him?
Oh, Tony is one of the sponsors for the Guardians Legacy, and huge wrestling fan. He goes to a lot of different wrestling shows. He's really a great guy. He's a great guy. He's very supportive of, following the wrestlers and their pages and supporting their content and trying to be involved in a very positive way. I like Tony a lot. Yeah.
Awesome. And our last one, I need to know. I mean, if you're still in here, you got to at least comment before we get off, because we got a few minutes before.
Well, he said we had a few minutes. I don't know if I'm still live or not, but Brandon disappeared from my TV screen.
I disappeared. I don't know what happened. I seriously don't know what happened.
You said a few minutes and you were gone. I said, I don't know if we're still live, but he just disappeared.
We're still live. Chase and Stanley, man, go find you a room. I didn't cut off Brymstone. It cut us off. But anyway, we're back. So anyway, last person is Chris Ricard. If you're in here, comment. But give me your thoughts on Chris Ricard.
Chris has watched me my entire career. He was even telling me about it not too long ago, earlier this year, about he remembers when I started with AWF. And I got to main event. He's the owner of MCW. I got to main event his first show. He treated me very well. He's always been very respectful to me, always treated me very well. So he's always been very supportive of what I do in wrestling. He's really busy right now. He's got his hands in several companies, I believe, not just MCW. Hey, I say this, a lot of people's dream is wrestling. It doesn't necessarily mean being a wrestler. So, if he has the opportunity to try and follow his dream, I say more power to you, and do what you got to do to follow your dream. I got nothing bad to say about Chris.
All right. Now we're going to move on to the last part. Any kind of socials you want to plug or anything before we close out the show?
Well, I've plugged some of my merchandise. Like I said, I showed earlier, I got the tumblers, I got coffee mugs, of course, Cup of Joe. I've even got these nice little dog tags, and I've got, 3-4 different designs right now. I think 3. I don't know. But most of that I'm going to sell at my merch table. But there are some things I probably could mail. If you're interested in buying some merchandise from me, I could probably mail something direct to you. The only reason I don't like doing that is because the shipping cost is it's gonna go on you. I'm not covering shipping, so you end up paying more for the merchandise. But it is what it is. If you're interested in that, you can't make it to a show and you want something of mine to help support me, great. Just you can DM me on Facebook Messenger. That's where I prefer to take messages. But yeah, I'm on Facebook. Obviously, I'm on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I'm even on Snapchat with the stories. The spotlight is what it is. My promos I'll share to the spotlight. And I think I've probably got over 4,000 followers on there from stuff like that. But I'm also on X. I don't share everything there. I'm trying to get better. You know, it used to be Twitter.
That's what I'm trying to do too.
Yeah, trying to get better about that. And that's, you know, that's it, you know. So yeah, if you want to follow me on everything, that would be very much appreciated. I think Facebook is probably where I have my biggest following. It's where I have my most interaction, but it's where I probably focus most of my time. So yeah, definitely give me a follow on my socials. You know, if you want to share my stuff, please share my stuff. If you have matches of mine, here's one thing I would like to say. If you're a fan out there and you have recorded any of my matches, because I'm not great at recording things myself. If you have any matches of mine, clips, full-length matches from any time in my career, please share them somewhere. You know, put them on YouTube and send them to me, because I would love to see it. I think my fans would love to see more of my stuff, especially from my early days. I didn't record anything on my own the first 4 or 5 years I wrestled. That was one of those things, going back to telling younger talent, you know, what are the things advice I would give them? You know, that's one of those things. Definitely record your stuff, because I didn't think to do that. I just thought that every wrestling company recorded all the matches and put it out somewhere, and I was wrong. You know.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. If you'll hang in there for just a second, I'm gonna put you in the studio. If you'll just hang in there, I'm gonna close out the show, and then me and you gonna talk real quick.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, man. All right. Well, thank you for joining the Brilliant Show tonight. Remember to check out the Brilliant Show merchandise at Brainbuster Tees. The link is in the description in both shows here. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Make sure you check it out. And tomorrow night, we've got Vladimir Koloff coming up, and Tuesday night, the Fox and the Jackal. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night right here on The Brilliant Show. Thank you, Chris Chambers. Y'all have fun. And
Lights blaze bright, it's a glorious sight. The champ of the mic owns the night. With a mind so slick and a suit so clean, he's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes.